Okay. We have everybody muted, so if you have questions during the presentation, go ahead and type them into the chat box, and then we will go through all of your questions at the end. So thank you guys for coming today, greatly appreciated. I know that we have really stressed that there's a lot of changes this time around. I want you to know they're not scary changes, and we do have reasons for making changes. So that's why we are doing these meetings. We really think it's important for you guys to understand what goes into our plans and how they work this year. So before we get into everything that has changed, I think it's important to understand how insurance works and why we make any changes in the first place. So the primary goal of health insurance is to protect your assets from the high costs of medical care. Without it, your entire life savings could be completely wiped out by a single high claim medical bill. You see it happen in the news all the time. So if you think of it in the same way you do your car insurance, and that it's supposed to protect you from devastating costs of something like a major car accident. So you get into a car accident, your insurance protects you from having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to have to buy a new car. Health insurance works sort of the same way, so it protects you from things like a medical emergency or chronic disease, but it also lets you get care when you need it. So if you break your leg, you don't have to wait and save up for weeks and weeks before you can get it fixed. You can go and get it fixed right away. So when you are using your insurance, you're going to your doctors, the urgent care, hospitals, all of that, the insurance company is paying money out of our plan to all of these providers. At the end of the year, something called a medical loss ratio is calculated. And what that is it adds up all of that money that's been paid out of the plan, and it divides it by the money that we have paid into the plan in the form of premium. So a premium is what you pay every month out of your paycheck to have insurance. This number gives us a general picture of how the insurance is being used and if we need to make any changes for the following year.
When the loss ratio is at a lower percentage, that's usually when our premiums are lower. A higher loss ratio usually means there are many larger claims in the previous year, which then raises our premiums for the following year, just to try to balance things back out again. So this is important. How you actually use your insurance is important because it has an effect on everybody covered on our plan. So you can kind of think of it as like the Buckingham family plan. This isn't to scare you guys away. The coverage is there for you to use it. Cancer happens, heart attack happens. That's why we have insurance. But making smart decisions with our health care helps everybody. For example, when there's a $5,000 claim versus a $500 claim, it increases our risk to the insurance company and the premiums go up. So a real life example is kind of like, I have my 5-year-old, he scrapes his knee, looks pretty bad, Mama Bear kicks in, I freak out, I think, oh my gosh, he's gonna get a staph infection, they're gonna cut off his leg, we need to go to the ER room, emergency, like right away, this is an emergency. That's gonna create a larger claim, which is gonna mess with those ratio numbers and bring it up. Now, if I calm down, think about it for a second and say, okay, you know what, it's a bad scrape, but we'll go to his primary care, they can look at it, see if we need to do anything further. That's gonna make a smaller claim. So now knowing where to go in certain situations is also important. This is a great tool for you to use. It is in your benefits guide on page 12. I want to say 14, but I think it's 12. It's 12. This will kind of break down certain instances that might happen and where you can go, like the different care centers that are out there. So for me, a minor skin condition for my little man, primary care physician was a great place for us to go. There was no need for me to go to the emergency room. Mama Bear needs to slow her roll. But I also want to note, care centers, you go down to the second one, it says virtual visits. This is really important because this is becoming something more popular in the medical world. What this is you can do a literally virtual visit. My son had a rash on his leg. I took a picture, sent it over, and then they sent back and said, okay, use this cream. It should go away in a couple of days. And that's what we did. And it was cost effective for me and also helps with the plan itself.
So the reason we went into all of this is because our loss ratio, it had been hanging out around 68% for the last several years. It's why we haven't had an increase in a while. It's why we haven't even had group meetings in a while, because nothing much has had to change. It went from that 68% to 122% this year, which is definitely a major increase. It's the highest it's ever been. And in turn, if we were to keep our plans exactly the same, not make any changes, United Healthcare wanted to raise our premiums by 31%. Depending on the plan that you're on, that could add up to almost an extra $200 a paycheck. Obviously, we did not want that to happen, so we made some changes. Changes. By making some changes to our plans, we were able to negotiate that percentage down by quite a bit. The firm is going to absorb most of this added increase, and we're also going to increase what is being contributed to those that have family plans. So now, if you have any dependents on the plan, Buckingham's going to contribute 60% of the premiums across the board. Some of you, you're going to see a slight increase depending on which plan you choose, but the changes we've made to our plans are going to allow you to better determine the insurance needs for your individual financial situation. All of our plans are really different from each other this year. You're going to see the actual dollar amounts of what's going to come out of your paycheck in your Care with Connect enrollment when you're going through, and also in our benefits guide that we gave to everyone. All right, so we've addressed premiums, gotten it out of the way. I know that's always top of mind when talking insurance renewals. So let's talk about the actual changes we've made to the plans. The first thing we did was with our prescriptions. So right now, if you're on the PPO2, your prescription copays are way different. It's kind of all over the place. We've made the prescription copays the same on all of our plans. No matter what plan you choose, these are the copays that you're going to pay. And we've added a fourth tier for specialty prescriptions. So specialty prescriptions are the drugs for the hard hitters like cancer or MS. And though these medications only affect a really small percentage of our people, they're what really drive the biggest costs and claims and hit that loss ratio pretty hard. So by adding another tier specifically to address these costs, it helped us further negotiate those premiums down that we talked about earlier.
It's also important that you guys pay attention to which tier your prescriptions fall under, because it's going to determine how much is coming out of your pocket for that medication. You can find out where that medication, which tier it falls under in the prescription drug list, which you can find on Caribus. Also, don't forget that using pricing tools like myuhc.com and also sites like goodrx.com, trust me, that has saved me a lot of money to make sure that you guys are getting the best deal for your prescriptions. Remember that you can also get the 90-day refills and mail order pricing by using CVS as your retail pharmacy. The biggest thing to remember is that what medical plan you're on also determines how much you pay and when. If you choose the HSA plan, your prescription costs count towards your deductible, meaning that these copays do not apply until that plan deductible has been met. Now, if you pick one of the PPO plans, the cost of your prescription only counts towards meeting your out-of-pocket max. You will pay these copay prices as soon as the plan begins on October 1st.
All right, so let's talk about the changes we've made to each of our medical plans. The PPO one, this plan, this is what most of you are on right now. It is considered to be our richest plan, meaning that you pay more upfront in premiums each month so that you can pay less out of pocket when you're using the insurance. It allows you to have these copays. Because this is our most expensive plan overall, this year, if you choose this plan in an associate-only tier, so you're the only person on the plan, you're now going to have to contribute 5% of the premiums. It's not a crazy amount, only adds up to about $13 a paycheck, but we made this change because we didn't think it was fair for those with dependents to take the entire hit of the increase in their paychecks.
So if you look at the screen, on the left is where we're at right now. That's the plan we're on right now. On the right are the changes that are being made to that specific plan. And it's important, we wanted to point these out to you because the plan names are kind of still the same. So we didn't want you to think that everything was the same within the plan. You really need to see these differences. So starting October 1st, the deductible and max out of pocket for individuals has gone up a little bit. However, note that the family deductible and max out of pocket has gone down. So that's something to think about if you're going with a family plan. Office visits to a specialist have gone up by $20. Virtual visits, like we talked about before, that has gone down $10. Non-preventative lab and x-rays currently is at no cost. Once the plan starts October 1st, that will go towards your deductible and co-insurance. And then last on this plan is the urgent care has gone down by $25.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum is our PPO2 plan. This is considered our lowest cost option. So it means that you pay less in premiums, but more out of pocket when you're actually using the insurance. So this plan is really ideal for those that you don't want an HSA. You're someone that rarely goes to the doctor and you only really need insurance as a safeguard for something like a medical emergency. You'll notice that all of the changes we made to this plan specifically speak to someone who rarely uses their insurance.
This plan has definitely changed the most. So it's set up the same. The left is where we're at now, and then the right are the changes that are going to happen starting October 1st. So the out-of-pocket max has gone up. You'll notice here a big change is there are visit limitations. So office visits, physical therapy, urgent care, you get 4 visits at a copay price. And then after that, it goes towards your deductible and coinsurance. Those 4 visits are per person on the plan. So you yourself would get 4 visits, your domestic partner would get 4 visits, your child would get 4 visits. That's how that works. Virtual visits has gone down $10. Non-preventative lab and x-rays is the same as the other plan where starting October 1st, it will go towards your deductible and coinsurance. And a really large thing to note is the emergency room currently is a $300 copay. Starting October 1st, if you go to the emergency room, you're going to pay the full price of that ER visit. It will go towards your deductible and coinsurance.
Now, as a reminder, our HSA medical plan is our only qualified plan if you want to be able to contribute to a health savings account. The biggest change to this plan is that there's now 10% coinsurance after you've met the deductible. So what that means is after you've met your $2,700 deductible, you're going to pay 10% of the cost of covered services until you hit your max out of pocket, which has been raised by only $100. Nothing else has changed about this plan. It's all the same as it was last year. And there's some really exciting new incentives to switch to the HSA plan this year. You guys ready?
There it is. United Healthcare Motion. This will be replacing our Simply Engaged incentive program. With that being said, Simply Engaged is attached to the Rally program. Simply Engaged is where you get your $200 worth of gift cards if you complete certain tasks. You can still get that until September 30th. So if you have not gotten that yet, go ahead and do that. Really, seriously, go ahead and do that. And then starting October 1st, if you choose the HSA plan, you can be part of United Healthcare Motion. It's a new program that rewards you and your covered spouse and or domestic partner for taking steps to help improve your health. Literally, you can earn up to $3 per day towards your HSA for meeting specific targets. If you hit all goals every day, you can earn, ready, over $1,000 per year towards your HSA. $1,000. $1,000, you guys. If you do the math, it adds up to $1,095. I know. Well, deposited quarterly into your HSA account. This does count towards your IRS max contribution. So think of it as like $1,000 that doesn't have to come out of your pocket, but you get to keep it forever.
Yep. Okay, so the way it works is pretty simple. You go online, you activate your UHC Motion account. Same way you did with your Simply Engaged and your Rally Health and Wellness. You'll activate your account, and then in your account, you're going to select the fitness tracker that you currently have. So if you've got a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you go in, you say, this is what I've got. If you don't currently have a fitness tracker, United Healthcare will send you one for free, or they're going to give you a $55 credit towards the purchase of a variety of options. So the one that they send you for free, I was saying Garmin, it might not be Garmin.
It's a Stride?
Yeah, it's something weird. But if you want something
if you want the Garmin, it's $45 more. But
Yeah.
we have to check those numbers.
Yeah, so it's been updated, so we will get that info to you. Or they'll give you the $55 credit towards something like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. So then you select your fitness tracker, old or new, once you have one. You download the app on your phone, you sync your device to your phone, and then you just start wearing your tracker and begin walking to reach your daily fit goals. You can check your progress on your device, on your mobile app, or online at any time, and all of these rewards are deposited each quarter into your HSA. All right, so what's a fit goal?
So to earn your first dollar, you need frequency. So this is to take 6 brief walks over the course of your day, at least an hour apart. For each walk, you must need 500 steps within 7 minutes. So the first time I read that, I kind of freaked out because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to track that. The mobile app does it for you. So every time you meet one of those 6 brief walks, it fills in a little bubble and it's great. And you're like, yeah, buddy, look at me go. Closer to $1. But all those dollars add up. We know how that works. The benefit of this is working out for an hour a day can still leave you with elevated risk of abnormal cholesterol and high blood sugar if you spend the majority of your day sitting, which many of us do here in the office. Moving around throughout the day reduces risk factors for metabolic and cardiac health.
The second dollar that you can earn each day is for intensity or periods of high physical activity. So the goal for this one is to take one brisk airport paced walk. So walk like you're trying to catch a plane that you're almost late to. It's 3,000 steps within 30 minutes, averaging 100 steps a minute. So the benefit of this one is that a regular, moderately intense walk has been shown to reduce stress, improve mood, increase your focus, and it reduces risk factors for cardiovascular, metabolic, bone, mental health, as well as cancer.
The benefits themselves,
Right?
worth it.
Come on.
Dollar number 3, tenacity. So take at least 10,000 steps a day, at least. I mean, if you want to keep going, you do it. The activity tracker will reset at midnight. So if it's 11:58,
You got some work to do.
you got some work to do. The benefits of this is consistently reaching this step count goal, promotes general health, increases energy, and facilitates weight loss.
Yeah, and we just finished our walking challenge throughout the summer, so you guys know that you can hit these goals every day, and these are actual dollars that you can earn now. One other thing about the motion program, it does not have to, you do not have to have our Buckingham HSA through Alaris. It will work with any HSA you've got. So when you're going online and setting up your account, you're just going to input whatever HSA account you have, and then you can still earn these rewards. And this is for you and your covered spouse or domestic partner. The other exciting thing about HSAs this year is through our Buckingham HSA at Alaris. So right now, if you want to invest your HSA dollars into your account and what was it?
Expected growth.
Expected growth.
We were educated yesterday.
And shoot for expected growth.
There you go.
The minimum balance that's required to invest those funds is $2,000. We heard your feedback that that was a pretty high amount. So we've worked with Alaris to lower that amount to only $500. So now you can invest even sooner. And as a reminder, all of our HSA funds were handpicked by our own advisors, and they do adhere to our investment philosophy here at Buckingham, because we know that's important to you. Almost.
What's even more important to you are your teeth.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, so our dental plan is still with Guardian. We still have a dental plan. Your annual maximum is $1,250 plus your max rollover, which you can find online. 100% coverage for in-network preventative and basic services, 60% for major services. I emphasize in-network because we had a report from Guardian saying that about 50% of our associates are going out of network. That's absolutely your choice. If you're besties with your dentist, You get it, that's wonderful, but know that that coverage percentage changes if you are out of network. The changes that we made to the plan are there is no longer an age limit for in-network fluoride treatments once every 6 months, and composite fillings are covered on all teeth 100%. Yes, composite fillings. Google it. I'm just joking. We'll tell you. We used to have restrictions where only metal fillings were covered for molar teeth, which was kind of ridiculous because it's 2019 and nobody wants metal fillings anymore. So we changed it to composite fillings, which are the white fillings. Yeah, we got you.
You and your pretty teeth. Okay. All right. Our vision plan has not changed at all. So as a reminder, it's still through Guardian. It's Guardian VSP. You get an exam once a year with a $10 copay, $25 copay for your prescription lenses. For your frames and contacts, you get $130 towards the purchase price and then 20% off any remaining balance. And then you can't get frames and lenses in the same year. So we did look into allowing frames to be purchased every year instead of every other year, but that was going to raise our premiums by a little too much. So we opted to keep things the same for this year, and we'll take a look at it again next year. For those that you don't wear glasses or contacts, you don't really need regular vision care, remember that you do get one preventative eye exam per year that's covered under your medical insurance. So keep that in mind when deciding whether or not you need to purchase the vision plan. All right, now this better work. Yep. All right, so we're just gonna let you watch this for a minute and wonder why we're going to let you watch Chris Farley falling down a hill. Hold on, let him get all the way down.
Okay,
No,
there
he
he
doesn't
goes.
get all the way down, okay.
He stands up and he does it again.
So Sarah, why are we making them watch Chris Farley fall down a hill?
Well, this year we are offering 2 new voluntary benefits. Voluntary accident insurance. Get it? Is an accident right
Oh,
here.
an accident.
Oh,
Okay.
and wish he had that insurance. And voluntary critical illness, because we want to make sure that you guys have all your finances set in place just in case something were to happen. Sorry, I was just like, take it over.
Oh, ready to.
We have, sorry, you guys can't see this. We have Julie Kay here. She is our Guardian representative. She is going to talk through these plans with you, kind of fill you in on how they work, what they're all about. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to type those into the system. We'll answer them at the end.
Great, we will get started. And Sarah, I've had worse introductions, so don't worry. So we're going to talk critical illness and accident, and both of these plans are brand new, like Sarah said. We're going to get your questions answered about them. And the great thing about these plans, they're voluntary, they're going to be payroll deducted. These plans help you bridge the gap between medical and non-medical expenses. They don't have anything to do with your medical plan in itself. They work outside of your medical plan, but they can really help you bridge that gap. With the rising cost of healthcare, these kind of plans can become important because they do help you with those expenses that you may encounter. As you're reading over this slide, you can see all the facts and figures that they have here. One of the sad facts I think on here is that every minute of each day an American becomes seriously ill. I mean, none of us plan for that, but with this kind of insurance, it helps us plan for that a little bit. 63% of Americans with medical insurance lost all their savings to out-of-pocket medical costs. Now, I'm talking to a bunch of smart investors here. I'm sure you guys have plans for this kind of thing, but we all have critical illnesses and serious medical situations that happen to us, to our family. So this is just one more way to protect our finances. For just a few dollars a month, and you guys will see that when you enroll online, and it's also in your benefit packet, you'll see what the premiums are. You can pay for this additional insurance that will coordinate or complement your medical plan, no matter what kind of medical plan you have. And this is money that comes to you from Guardian. Once you fill out a claim form, and it's a simple one-page claim form, you fill that out, submit it, and then this check is mailed to you direct in your mailbox. And these cash benefits that are paid directly to you are there for you to use however you want. A lot of people think, oh, I have to use them to cover my deductible, because obviously if you've had a critical illness, you're in the hospital, you're seeing lots of doctors, you're going to have some expenses there that would cause you to pay deductible. But that's not true. These benefits can be used for any reason. I've had people use these benefits for things like the everyday expenses of gas and groceries, helping pay the mortgage. Some do use them towards deductible. I even had one person that I know that told me that they were diagnosed with a critical illness, and because of that, they decided they wanted to go on a family vacation, and they used that money to help pay for the family vacation. So it truly is your money. Now with this critical illness plan, you can elect the benefit in 5,000 increments up to a max of $20,000. Your spouse and your child are also eligible for benefits. These benefits have a reduction at age 70 by 50%. It's portable, meaning you can take it with you if you left or retired from the Buckingham plan here. It has a pre-existing condition clause. So if you have been treated for one of the conditions that we're going to go over here in the next slide or two, if you've been treated for one of those conditions over the last 3 months, once you submit a claim, they're going to do a 3-month look back and say, oh yeah, this person has or has not been treated for that condition. If you had been treated, then you would have a 12-month exclusion period on that particular condition, but all the other conditions that are listed here would still be covered benefits on day one. This also has a wellness benefit, $50 for employee, spouse, and child that can be reimbursed yearly to help you get back a little bit of that premium that you're paying. And we've talked about this within your benefit team here. They say that your fitness, your biometric assessment, there you go, is going to count towards this wellness benefit. So they're probably going to fix it so they can submit that for you, and you may not even have to file a claim. So that makes it even easier to get that $50 back. So here are the illnesses that count towards this critical illness plan. There's a number of cancers there, heart attacks, some other heart conditions, organ and kidney failure. There's also some first occurrence benefits available for other diseases, and those would be listed in more specifics on your plan document. Most of these have first and second occurrence benefits, so you can go down through that list and see if it was a first occurrence, what percentage you would be paid versus if you had a second occurrence. Bad Luck Sue here, my example that we give, Bad Luck Sue suffered a thyroid cancer and receives $10,000. She elected in those $5,000 increments, she elected a $10,000 benefit, so she's going to get a check in the mail for $10,000 once she's had her thyroid cancer diagnosis. 3 years later, Bad Luck Sue has a heart attack. She receives $10,000. So that $20,000 is there for her to offset any kind of out-of-pocket expenses that she has, and that lets her focus on her recovery. Important thing to remember for both this and the accident plans, this year there are no health questions to answer. You can sign up for this plan. It's called guaranteed issue, meaning they're not going to reject you if you've had prior conditions. Now they will do that look back like we talked about earlier, but this year alone is the year that you get to sign up. Since it's new coverage, they're offering you that guarantee issue. Next year may or may not be guarantee issue because your benefits team will negotiate that with Guardian, so they can beat up the Guardian rep and try to get you a better deal. Affordable group rates on this plan, easy payroll deduction, and then this coverage is portable, as we already mentioned. So you've got a $20,000 check going to Bad Luck Sue. That's not so bad in a situation where you're already having a critical illness to deal with yourself or your family member. If you've got any questions on that, remember, just go ahead and type them in and we'll get you answers. So let's talk about the accident plan. The accident plan is probably one of the most popular plans I talk about when I talk about the Guardian plans. Accidents do happen to any of us at any time. I'm one of those accident-prone people. I can trip over a piece of paper in a parking lot. So this is a good plan for me. Some of the same facts are listed here as on the other slide, but I think an interesting one here is that the average cost of an emergency room visit in the US can be up to $3,000. there's your deductible right there. So you can already see maybe where this plan would help you. Some bullet points here. These supplement your medical plan. No matter what other kind of insurance you have, you can purchase this accident plan and it will complement your medical plan. We've already said the cash is paid directly to you, it's sent to you, and you can use it for whatever purpose you want. The last two bullet points there are important features of the plan. There is a 25% increase in your benefit if a covered dependent child is injured while playing in an organized sport. Now note that child has to be 18 years or younger. That's the age limit on this organized sport benefit. And we had someone in the first meeting ask, does such and such constitute as an organized sport? So we did a little investigating on this, and the organized sport benefit is a pretty broad spectrum of things. We have found out that even marching band, organized cheerleading sport competition, fencing competitions, all of those things are considered organized sports. So you're good to go where that's concerned. There is a rainy day fund, and that's in addition as a added benefit to this plan, that once you've maybe exceeded a frequency limitation on a covered benefit, this rainy day fund kicks in and gives you a little bit more benefit. So this coverage is off the job coverage. That's because if you're injured on the job, of course, you have work comp. It includes an accidental death and dismemberment benefit, $25,000 for you, the employee, and then your spouse and child also have the same benefit they are listed. Payment features, this payment is based on a schedule. And you're going to see that in your employee kit, and then we're going to show an example of that in a few minutes to help you better understand. There's your child organized sport benefit. We've already mentioned that. There's the rainy day fund. Also, you have the wellness and the portability, just like on the critical illness plan. Dependent age on this plan is up to age 26, but remember the child organized sport benefit does end at age 18. So here's your example of how the Guardian accident insurance works. So John's taking a hike in the local park. Hopefully he's not hiking with Chris Farley. John falls, tears his cartilage in his knee. He goes to the hospital, to the ER, and that's where he starts incurring a bill, a big bill. The doctor gives him a brace. He's scheduled for follow-up visits. Here's items from the schedule. So when you submit this claim to Guardian, you go down through and you list all of the things that would fit out of the schedule. So an ambulance reimbursement would be $200. And then you look, he was in the ER. That's another $200. He had an MRI, he had an x-ray. He's definitely going to have follow-up visits with the doctor. All of those things would add up. That check that comes to you in your mailbox, in this instance, would be $2,540. So this is something that would really help in the event of an accident, getting this check in the mail. All the bullet points on the right are the same ones we talked about with the critical illness plan. Important again, no health questions asked. You can sign up on this plan this year, or if you decide you don't want it this year, you can wait and sign up on it next year too. We're going to talk about a couple of Guardian value-added services. The first one is the Guardian College Tuition Benefit. This is where Guardian coverage can help you pay for college, and it's based at Sage Scholar Colleges, which that is a group of about 400 different colleges across Missouri and Illinois, where you can earn tuition rewards that equal to scholarship dollars. Now, the next bullet point is really important. To be eligible, students have to be registered prior to August 24th of the year that the student begins their 11th grade. So the key here, we had someone in the first meeting that talked to us, and he's getting ready to be a grandpa. Well, the baby's not even born yet, but he's wanting to get signed up for this. So that's a good idea. He goes ahead and signs up now, and then once the child is born, he registers that child. You'll see the next bullet point there. Your available for covered members are, the available covered members are children, grandchildren, godchildren, nieces, and nephews. So you don't have to pick your favorite grandchild out of the pick. You can put all of your grandchildren on this and sponsor them all for the scholarships. The example below shows you how a member with Guardian Dental, the critical illness, and the accident plan can add up these scholarship dollars, these reward points towards dollars, over a series of 7 years. And you do have to be enrolled in the dental, the critical illness, and or the accident, and you have to get on a register to be eligible for the product. This is not a new benefit. You all have this in force, so some of you may already be enrolled in this, but if you're not, I'd urge you to go ahead and get enrolled now. Here are the 3 easy steps. You register your student or yourself for right now, and then as you register the student, each one of them can earn 500 tuition reward points. Step number 2, each year you remain enrolled in the Guardian program. Your students receive 2,000 points per product that you're on, so dental, critical illness, or accident. Year 4, you get bonus for being on the dental plan, and you get an extra $2,500 in tuition rewards. This almost seems too good to be true, and when you're talking in front of a group of people, they're kind of looking at you with that look like, really? Can this really be this good? But it really is. Almost every carrier in the market has some kind of added value benefit, and this is what Guardian uses to encourage your enrollment in their dental, critical illness, and accident plan. It's just a great added value bonus. The last thing that I'd like to speak to you about is the Employee Assistance Program. Again, this is another program that you all have in force right now and have had for a few years. It's called Work Life Matters, and it's a free and very confidential employee assistance program. This can be used for mainly telephonic consultations or calls, where you can get all kinds of resources available to you. And it's everything that you can think about. It's lifestyle, like stress, anxiety, depression. It's things like dependent care for little kids or adults, getting questions answered on that. Legal and financial. I always laugh and say, do you have a teenager at home? Well, if you do, you probably can use this employee assistance. A phone call or 2 about some of the stress they're causing you may help calm things down a little. I have a friend who used this program for legal, for estate planning actually, and she had 3 sisters, and 3 of the 4 sisters were agreeing on what to do after mom passed away, but the one sister was kind of causing problems. So my friend Tanya thought, you know what, if we get everybody together, have them get their questions written down, and then we call into the EAP program, maybe they can help us sort out what the next steps are and how to do this legally. They did that after about a 45-minute conversation with an estate planning attorney. All the sisters were in agreement, and it just kept them from having some family strife at this difficult time when they lost their mom. And again, I can't stress enough, this is all free and it's all confidential. Nobody here at Buckingham is going to know that you've called in and used this service, so feel free to access this. And I always like to kind of tell people too is, you may think, oh, I'm not going to need this service, I'm good as gold. Keep it in mind for your coworkers. If you see that you have a coworker struggling, they may not be thinking at the time, oh yeah, I have this program I can use, so you can always refer them to it. So keep that in mind as well.
All right. Oh, thank you. All right, so let's get to any questions. It's like there's my own. Okay, there's no question. All right, so the questions that have come up throughout the meeting so far, remember that we still have our deductible reimbursement program. So if you are using the insurance, remember that the firm will reimburse you up to $1,300 of your deductible after you've reached $1,000 of that deductible. And that is per person on your plan. So if you're using your insurance, don't forget that we will give you some money back. The deductible reimbursement form is on your CareVis Connect homepage under benefit resources. October 1st is when all of these changes take place. So even if you change your plan, so if you change from like the PPO to the HSA, you're going to keep whatever you've accrued towards your deductible, but your plan is going to change between October and December. So you'll see the difference in the 2 deductibles, but you'll keep whatever you've accrued. The Motion program That starts October 1st, so you are not going to be able to log in until October 1st, even if you're super excited like we are. You're not technically in their systems until October 1st. Looks like we got maybe a few questions. Our emergency room benefits different for covered dependents still. No, so the emergency room benefits for dependents will be the same as the emergency room benefits for you, no matter what plan you're on. What is non-preventative lab work? So preventative lab work would be like kind of what you get done in the biometric assessment. So they just are like your annual checkup where they test your cholesterol and blood sugar and that stuff. Non-preventative would be if they're testing for, some kind of condition. So say they're like testing your thyroid or something. That is non-preventative lab work. Good questions. Let's see. Cafeteria plans. So you are not going to see enrollments for your flexible spending, dependent care, parking, or transit. Those are a separate enrollment at the end of the year. You will see, if you sign up for the HSA medical plan, you will be able to enroll in the Alaris Health Savings Account. That option will pop up in Caravis. It is asking for 2019 contributions still. So if you already have an HSA set up and you've already maxed out, or you're good with whatever contributions you have, just go ahead and hit decline on that page. We will ask for your 2020 HSA contributions later in the year with all of the rest of the cafeteria plans. September 6th is the deadline to finish all of your enrollments. Remember that every single person here at the firm, all the way up to Mr. Bierenbaum himself, have to log into the system and complete their enrollments. So even if you just really hate benefits and you're not a fun person, you still have to log into the system and decline everything. I promise it doesn't take long at all. We've got several resources for you this year. You've got your enrollment guides. There's videos on all the pages, all the Loop posts that we did. And then Sarah and I share a benefits inbox. So you don't have to email us separately. You can just send your questions to benefits@famadvisor.com. Anything else? Did I miss anything? All right, so that is all we got. Let us know if you've got questions, and happy enrolling, y'all.